Right, good evening and welcome to the Amateur TV Net. We just held every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I'm running the Pluto tonight, so if I've...
No audio.
No audio. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, have I got audio now? I should have.
It's good now.
Okay. It's very hard with the delay, actually. It's probably what it was. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Amateur TV Net. I'm Neil, VK3BCU.
Actually, a huge delay in the audio.
I know. I thought this would happen. What I might do is I might go back to my normal transmission. I was expecting a huge delay on the audio. I'm Neil, VK3BCU, and the net is held every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. through VK3RTV. Now, the way we like you to watch it, if possible, is through a set-top box and a UHF antenna. Otherwise, if that's not quite possible for you, you can also watch it on Ian's YouTube feed, Richard's Discord feed, and Richard VK3VRS's YouTube feed as well. Now, earlier I tried to come up using the Pluto, which does work actually very, very well, but because of the way it's set up here through OBS, it's just I haven't quite set up the arrangements with syncing the audio with the video. I didn't actually do it earlier, which I should have. I thought it was right, but it wasn't, so not to worry. The Pluto works very, very well, and a few people have been playing with the Pluto, so it's very cheap to get on using a Pluto. About $250, $260 on AliExpress. You might want to talk to Joe VK3TET about which particular model to buy. And I do thank Joe VK3TET and Rob VK3IE for the work they've done in getting this little project up and running. It's been really, really great. So apologies for the earlier attempt with Pluto, but it does work. It just needs a little bit of fine tuning. So this evening we've got watching VK3BVR, Bob. VK3QL, Mark VK3PI, Richard VK3VRS, and g'day there Nick VK3BA. First up this evening will be Peter on VK3RTV1. I see Peter's flash screen is up there at the moment, so Peter, if you're ready, we'll be switching across to you, and then if you could put it straight back to me. So everyone please go across to RTV1 right now and look for Peter. If I can...
Okay, we've got audio problems tonight. That was very entertaining, Neil. The delay was incredible. But anyway, I'm sure you'll sort it out over time. Well, my analogue vestigial sideband experiment has just been put aside for a sec. I've been able to receive myself and transmit, and Dennis is working. Dennis 3YLH is working on his system to put it back together, and we're going to have a historic contact on analog AM TV just once. and maybe we can try and get across to Neil if his converter is still working. So that's still a work in progress. Today I got a newsletter from Art, W8RMC in Columbus, Ohio, and you may be aware that Art's been working on a receiver for quite some time, and all the hardware is been completed for quite a while, but the software end has been a slow progress. But he will have a working example at the Dayton Hamvention coming up, and this receiver is called the VersaTune. So mind me while I read through what it does. It will receive DVB-S, DVB-S2 and DVB-S2X, frequency range of 250 megahertz to 2150 megahertz. It will also receive DVB-T. It will also receive DVB-T2. The frequency range there is a bit more limited. It's 52 megs to 900 megs. But he is looking for another tuner that might bring us up to the 23 centimetre band for that as well. It can scan 7 separate stored frequency selections and from 5 different selected RF sources. There's an auto scan function in it, which is pretty much the same as what we poll between our combo T and S inputs. It's got HDMI out, it's got video and sound out. Internally, it's got 7 separate slides that you can bring up. You can control it via the Ethernet, and it's got the usual 13 to 18 volt preamp voltages available if that's required. So it's a pretty neat little box. It's not all that big. So it'll be interesting to see how that one develops, and hopefully we'll have that one working for the Dayton Hamfest, which should be good. Anyway, we'll just. I've been watching this one for a little while, so it's been a work in progress. In the mail, just about a week ago or so, I received this very, very nice little handy cam. It's a Sony, and it works well. Works on a battery. And there we are. It's working already. So that came from Nick, and that was an exceptionally generous thing to do there, Nick. Thank you very, very much. That's going to be good. Also, a couple of days ago, I had a visit from Simon, the K3ZSJ, and Simon brought a couple of things that can be of interest to somebody and might be able to assist the coffers of the RTV fund, which sort of gets drained from every now and then for various things. But this is the Purple People Eater, I believe that's what it's called. Now, I understand it's a 3.4 gig RF amp with about 20 watts out. So that one's available for anyone that might want to make a bid for it, a reasonable bid. 3.4 gig. The other thing that Simon bought, and I'm not sure that this might end up at Mount View, but it's a Yaesu FT 2100 2-metre FM transceiver. Very nice, neat little unit. So there's 2 things there that people might like to bid on. So that's my little segment for tonight. And again, many thanks to Nick for that very nice little handy cam that I've got there, and to Simon, of course, for those 2 things. Simon VK3ZSJ is down in Tooradin, and he's a pretty active and prominent amateur radio operator on quite a few frequencies. So this is VK3BFG in Wantirna South. It's over to Neil, I think, VK3BCU. So we'll change to RTV2.
Hi Peter, it's Neil. Can you hold that amp for me? Oh, we'll talk about details later, but I've got fibs on it, okay? Okay, see you, thanks, bye. Right, thank you for that, Peter. Let's get all the audio working. So that was an interesting segment there, Peter. Very, very good. Okay, so up next will be Joe, VK3TET. I trust Joe's got a really good segment for us this evening. His segment's always very, very good. And maybe he may even have more of an update on the Pluto. And as I said earlier, and Joe alerted me to this, is there's a setting in OBS to sync the audio and the video, which I didn't do. And then after Joe's segment, if Joe could put it across to Mick, VK3CH, and then Mick, if you could put it straight back to me. So take it away, Joe. I'm on DVB-T, so it should be a very, very nice cut over to you there, Joe. So take it away, Joe.
Okay, I thought I'd just make a quick video of this bit because it's quite important, and if I don't video it, nobody will know. Essentially, this little amplifier, it's sort of like a cast aluminium casing. It's pretty good actually, very good thermal on it, and it's mounted really well inside. However, it's not flat. And when I put it onto the heatsink, which is just here, this is my heatsink, and it's quite a nice heatsink. I got this on Amazon. It was $19, which is really a bargain. I think the Chinese seller didn't really know what they're selling, so I'm quite happy with that. To actually get all this aligned, a couple of tools, and I'll show you the tools in a second. Let me just grab them. Quite interesting.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say, so you can see all the bits and pieces that we need. Hope that helps.
Right. Essentially, a punch. Punch is very important. If you don't have the punch, when you do the drill, it's going to be very difficult to, your drill bit's going to go all over the place. So here's the drill bit. It's a tapping set. You've got this is a 4mm tap set. So essentially this is a tap, obviously. I got it at Bunnings. I think it's about $7. It comes together with the drill bit. Okay. So essentially, get some calipers. Very handy little tool, okay? I don't use the digital bit. Essentially what you've got to do, just basically center it. That's all you have to do. Measurements aren't important. With this tool you can actually work out the distances and basically make sure that the 4 holes match these spacings here on the amplifier. So essentially it's pretty simple maths. You can just work it out, and once it's all aligned and you've got the rough position of it, what you've got to do then is where is it? Bear with me again. Okay, here we go again. One of these little things, really important. Again, a Bunnings thing. It's essentially a pen, a marker pen, but this is a marker pen with a very long needle, a needle tip. So essentially, if I show you, you can actually make spots like that. So the idea is, when it's all aligned, you can just basically put that in there and just circle the sort of thing here, and you get sort of 4 markers, right? I'm not going to touch the heatsink now, but the idea is that if you've got a dot like that, and you've got a hard surface, and you basically put a drill on there, it's just going to go all over the place like that, and it's not going to make a very detailed hole. So the idea is, you get this punch, you put it in the center bit, like that, and by pressing it, I'm not going to do it, but it just goes bang, and you've got a nice little hole there, a little marker, and the drill sits in that, and it's centered. So essentially that's what happened with that. That was the drill. You can still see a bit of oil. I actually use a little bit of WD-40 just to lubricate the drill bit, otherwise you just got to blunt the drill bit. There's quite a lot of friction going on, but with the oil it's quite good, and it cuts it quite well. So essentially you don't have to go very deep. It's only, what is it, about 6 or 7 millimeters, about 6 or 7 millimeters, and just as soon as it hits the sort of the fin area, you stop. And once you do that, you then use the tap and create a thread. So you can probably see the thread there. Where is it? Just there, you can just see the threads. Okay, and this is an M4 thread, so these little screws go in there quite well. Okay, so that's how the heatsink's done, and if it's aligned, it's really good. This is the second lesson that I learned. First lesson, didn't use all these tools, basically mucked it up. Nothing to do with this. It was another amplifier that is currently in use, but it was recoverable. But this is all nice and shiny black, as they say, so I want it to be right. But when I put that on, I noticed you could get light going through that little gap, which means that it's not flat. The machining or the extrusion of this aluminium heatsink, it's pretty flat. So by putting that on very fine sandpaper, you can see it's not flat. And what did I use? I've got P400, and I've also got a that's a P400 as well. I've got a P1000, well, P1200, really fine. And you can put a little bit of water on it, but at the moment I just want to get the basic stuff going. And to do that, you just basically slowly just move it round and round like that, just like that. And it will just take a little bit, just flatten it. As soon as I get that whole area shining across, that means it's flat. So you could see the high areas. So I'm just going to continue that until it's done, and then I'm going to show you guys how it looks. Okay, we're back. All right, so look, I I did have a good sandpaper on amplifier, the aluminium casing. As you can see, it's all flat now, or as much as it can be. I'm quite lucky. I've got these porcelain tiles, and they're very, very flat. The whole thing is very, very smooth. So that was my base. If you're going to be doing the sanding and try to flatten the surface, you've got to really have a flat surface. So don't do it on a carpet, don't do it on a table. You've got to have something really solid, like a porcelain tile or something like that, because these are sort of like float tiles, so they're very, very flat. So what do we got? The tools, calipers, M4 set of screws, nuts and bolts. They are 10 millimeters. This is thermal paste, and it's a silver thermal paste. It's quite expensive. I think this thing's about $10 or more, but it's very good. You only need 1 drop of it. Obviously the heatsink, I will post a link on that heatsink if it's still available on Amazon. It's a pretty good heatsink. Okay, a set of carbon tips drill tap set, M4 again. So I've got 2 of those because I have a habit of breaking them, but fortunately this time I didn't break it. So that's the drill that comes with it, and that's the actual tapping bit. Now you would also need one of these devices, which is a hand tapping tool. Well, essentially, you know, you can't stick that on a drill bit. Okay, so you got to use one of these hand devices. You fit it in there, and you just slowly turn it and tap it by hand. And a center punch. This auto center punch, again, that was in Bunnings, not very expensive, and a marker pen. Okay, so you obviously need an amplifier as well. AliExpress, I can post a link on that as well. So that's basically it. That's the sort of components. Obviously I'm not gonna, since I've got limited hands at the moment, I'm going to put a dab of this thermal paste, and that's just going to go flat on this, and then we're just going to screw the screws in, and that's it. That is the amplifier heatsink.
That's all, folks. I hope this video was useful, and until we meet next time, stay safe and stay curious.
Okay, good everyone. And it says I'm sending audio, so hopefully it's all good. Yes, very interesting presentations as always. And yes, we have done similar, not precisely the way you've done it, but we managed to do it without tears. And yes, sanding with the fine sandpaper, I used to get some, what do you call it, like ducting tape, and I'd stick it on a glass, just like a glass mirror, or just a thick glass window type thing, and yeah, I'd scrape the few things that I did need to sand flat. And I remember one of them being those 23 centimeter amplifier chips. with the 4 leads out of them. Some of them, when way back in the Wandsark days, they ordered some the 23 centimetre PAs, and they just had a slight bow in them. And what people found is if you didn't sand them and you screwed the screws in, the substrate inside the amplifier would crack, and they'd either have a very weak output or none at all. So people were saying this was happening, so I was forewarned. So yes, I did. I had two bits of sandpaper. You do the rough sanding and then the very fine one. It took about, I think I was doing it on the fine sandpaper nearly 15 minutes or something. And my arm was aching, but it was all worth it. When it switched on, the amplifier worked. So yes, worth the effort. All right. The 2 projects I have on the go, well, it's really just the one project, but 2 relays. I think I was saying last week, the hides, I had the lead that I got from J-Car. It seems to be, this thing, don't worry about it, I'll fix it later. The lead I got from J-Car had a polarity reversal, and we put the incorrect voltage into our hides, but it didn't blow up. And the reason I'm thinking is the 12 volt power supply switch mode is a fairly small one, and it supplies enough current to feed both the hides and the amplifier, bringing the 1 milliwatt up to about 3 or 4 watts or so, and that's feeding into the final PA, which has a separate 28 volt switch mode power supply, which can handle 14 amps top, but it's only asking to supply about 10 amps peak. So what I'm going to do is I've got this buck converter, and what I'll do is I will get that to lower the 28 volts down to about 12 or 10 volts to feed the 2 relays, and I will feed that from the 28 volt power supply, which has about 4 amps spare, and I will leave the 12 volt power supply alone. I might even put the fan that I've got across to the 28 volt one, but via this to drop it down to 12 volts or so. And if the relays will actually pick up, I reckon the relays, most relays have a 20% tolerance, so if they're 12 volt relays I could probably pick up at 10 reliably, but maybe if I put it to about 11 volts. And what I'm hoping is I want the fan to spin not as quickly, it doesn't need to spin as fast as it is, so I'll just stop talking for a moment. Wonder if anyone can hear the fan spinning. I can from here. I'll listen to this on the Ian's YouTube afterwards a couple of days later to see if I can pick it up. So yeah, now I would say I've started this, but no, over Easter visiting people and lots of interruptions, so nothing has been done, and as it turns out now, probably from maybe over the next few days coming up there will be more interruptions, so I might get this done for another week, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't take too long. Just take out the 12 volt side and put it across to the 28 volt side via this, and test it, and then once I know it's all working, only then put all the panels back, but we'll see. But at the moment I've just got the 12 volt relay that's muting the TV, which does it automatically. So if I switch bypass and click the switch, you will probably hear my voice. I mean, oh no, because I had it down. Put it this way, if I turn it right up, there'll be this, you can hear that AM in the sound. Now if I flick the switch up, which is the automatic muting, even if you forget to turn the sound down, I can just detect that my voice is in the TV, so I know that I'm going out, but it's not enough to sort of have that howling loop. And yep, that's how we like it. Okay, that's about all I've got for you this week, so not a lot. There's too many interruptions, but that's the nature of the Easter break. So I'm putting it back to Neil. So we'll drop carrier. We're on T, Neil, so should be a fairly quick transition for you, I think. So cheers all. Catch you next week. VK3CH Doncaster, dropping carrier.
Right, thanks for that, Mick. It was great. And I think I'm on air and I've got audio. That's fantastic. Okay, fairly short net today. We've got, 22 on Ian's YouTube feed. Not sure how many on Richard's Discord feed and his YouTube feed, but that's a great number, 22 on Ian's feed. So a few things I forgot to mention earlier. The WIA annual convention or meeting is coming up, I think, on the 3rd of May. That's on a Saturday, and I know Peter's going up on the Sunday to do a talk on amateur television. I'll probably go up there myself, so maybe we'll see a few people up at Bendigo on the the 4th of May, Sunday the 4th of May at Bendigo. There's the talk fest sort of thing, so hopefully we'll see a few people up there, and Peter will be doing a talk. So that's it for this evening. Unfortunately, we didn't have more stations this evening, but the ones that did come on were really great. So 73s for now. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.